internal CSS, external CSS, import CSS. If you are following these methods, then what will be the other way how we can integrate HTML with the CSS? Then it says you can merge the CSS and HTML using the tag name also, using class name, using ID, using multiple tag group together, and using parent child tag and child tag. So these 5 methods we have to see under the internal CSS. One example of for all. We'll get idea how to write the using ID class and other method, and it will be useful industry with this method only. So today files are going to come under the internal CSS folder. So we'll create the first example, CSS by tag name. Okay. So you can write a file called example 1 we have created. CSS by tag name dot html. CSS by tag name dot html. CSS by tag name HTML. You can come inside. Here we have to follow. Style tag is required. Inside that, after head body you have to follow. Then again, for body tag, you can write some CSS. For example, background of body, orange color. Suppose inside the page you have some certain paragraph. This is P1. This is P2. P2. And this is P3. Now we'll write some CSS for this paragraph so that it will apply only for the paragraph. In current page, how many paragraph we have? For all the paragraph, it will get applied. For example, if I write color for P tag, color, green color, font size 20 pixel, and then text align center. Text align center. You will find it will get applied to all 3 paragraphs. In fact, in current page there is 100 paragraph. It will apply for all the paragraph. For the tag name. So in current page, wherever the particular selector is available, in current page, wherever the particular tag is available, for all the tag, this property will get applied. For all the p tag, this property will get applied. Their color will come, text color will come in green color, and font size will be 20 pixel, and the alignment of the text will appear in the middle of paragraph. Middle of paragraph. I will write a comment here. This is called comment. In that we can write P is block level element. P is block level element. So it will go to the new line. It will print in the new line. P is a block level element. It will print in the new line. It will print in new line. Now run the page and you will find paragraph will not come in same line. It will go one after other, and the content will print in the middle. The content will print in middle. Let us see it now. What is happening? See, it's a print like this. That is called, this is P tag. All paragraph come in the center, whereas it's going to the new line. Because it's a block level element, it's a block level tag. Now we have to write some CSS so that it should print in the same line. For example, for paragraph, we'll give some background. Background is a white color. After that, background is a white color. Next, after that, for paragraph, float left. Float left we saw yesterday, it was able to print side by side. It was coming in the same line. So float left we are given. Background white color, float left. So background will be white color and give some width also. Example width 30%. Total width is 100%. In 100%, if you give the 30% to one paragraph, 30, 30, 60, 30, 90, all will come in the same line. 33% are given. Let me give 30% only. 30%. Total width is 100%. In 100%, we are creating 3 paragraphs. So width will come 33.33%, but 30% we are given. And after that, we will give some margin as well. Margin as 1%. Margin as 1%. So 1% will be gap left and 1% will be gap in the right. 2%. Okay. Still 1.33% is going somewhere. So let's check for this much now. Whether the paragraph is coming in the same line with the background is a white color. You can apply some height also so that it will look more better. Maybe 150 pixel as a height. Ready? Check now. Three paragraph is coming in one line. So in current page now, how many paragraph you will add, no matter, for all the paragraph, same CSS will get applied. What are the property you wrote? Let's revise once. Text color will be in the green color. Font size of the text will be 20 pixel. Text will print in the middle, text align center. Background of paragraph will be white color. Float left, your paragraph will start from the left side. It will come from left to right. 30% width, each paragraph will take 30% width. Total width is 100%. So 3 paragraph minimum will fit in one line. Now margin 1% we are given. So 1% left, 1% right, 1% top, 1% bottom. Gap will get applied. After that, height we are given as a 100 pixel. So each paragraph height will be 100 pixel. So when the page will execute in current page, wherever the paragraph will come, for all the paragraph, this much property will get applied.
Why display between boxes? Why display between
Total width how much? What is the width of your screen?
30, 80.
Width of your screen. Width of your computer screen is how much?
100.
100%. 100% divided by 3. How much will come? 33.33. How much width are given? 30%. Margin is how much? 1%. When you write only margin, what is that meaning? Left, right, top, bottom. So it will take left how much? 1%. Right how much? 1%. 1 plus 1, 2. Width how much? 30. 30 plus 2, 32. 100 divided by 3. How much will come? 33.33. So we can give here 31.33% we can give as a width. 31.33% as a width and 1% is a margin. 1% left, 1% right, 2%. And float left you have written yesterday. What is the meaning of float left? It convert from block to inline. Because of that, this all threes are coming in the same line. I have not written here. See, for every property I have written in the file. Which file? Look at here. Margin for what purpose? You need to read that. Padding I have not applied. Next, what we have not written? Float we have written. Float I have written here. Float written. Height we have written yesterday. So height is going to set the height. Width is going to set the width. Background is going to set the background. Color is going to change the text color. So in that, all the properties are known property or not? All are known property only. Nothing unknown. But we need to remember which one is for what purpose. Okay, you can see. Color for what purpose? Text color. Font size for what purpose? Font size, to increase font size. Text align for what purpose? To print in the middle. Background for what purpose? To change the background color. Float for what purpose? Read here. We have written yesterday. These two lines. It convert from block to inline. After that, next matter is of height. Height how much? 100 pixel. Then width, why we have given this calculation? Because total width is 100%. How many paragraph you are creating? You are creating 3 paragraph. 100 divided by 3, how much will come? 33.33% will come. In that, 31% is the width and 1% is the margin. 1% left, 1% right. Revision is also required. Let's go. If I add one more paragraph, where it will go? Same line or new line? If you add one more paragraph here, paragraph number 4, where it will go?
Second section.
How for same line it will go? Yeah, think little. No? See in the browser, a space is there in the same line. Then where it will go? There is no space.
We have to be 1%.
No, no percent is there. There is no even 1%. We have consumed all here. 100 divided by 3, how much will come? 33.33 will come. Now how much you have occupied? by 31.33. Remaining 1% margin left, 1% margin right. 2% and 31. 33.33. There is no even single pixel space in right side. So fourth number paragraph will not go in the same line. It will go to the new line. Fifth, sixth will come in the same line because this 100% is over. Now there is no space here. If you write anything else, it will go to the new line only. Add two more paragraph. See where it is going. 5, 6.
Yes, sir, but we have given 30%.
Where 30% we are given.
33%. That is not supported.
Where is not supported?
First, won't they take?
100% is over. This 3 paragraph will take 100%.
Yes, sir, we can give 30 now.
How we will give 30? You calculate and show me. How much you are given the margin? 1%.
We need to fulfill.
It's full total. There is no space. And calculate also you.
No, I am asking total mark from second line.
There is no space in the right side. It will go to the new line. Now in this calculation, there is no single pixel space available in the right side. Because total calculation, if you do, go here, open the calculator. 100% of the area divided by 3. How much will come? 33.33 is coming. What is the width you are given here? 31.33 you are given. Now 31.33 become a what? Width. And margin how much you are given? 1%. 1% left, 1% right. So 2%. So 31 plus 31.33 plus, if I do here 2%, how much it will come? It will come 33. Now 33.33 into 3, if you do, how much it will go? 100%. Okay, so 6 paragraph I have added. You will find 3 will be in one line and 3 will go to the new line. It will apply only for paragraph. It will not apply for other tag. In current page, wherever the P tag will come, it will apply to all the paragraph tag. Now right below div tag, div. This is from div 1, div 2. Let it be 2 division. Add 2 section tag also. This is from section 1. Section 2. So paragraph and section both used to divide the page into multiple blocks. If you want to design a page with the multiple layouts, multiple block in one page, you can use div tag also using CSS. You can use the P tag, not P tag. You can use the section tag also using the CSS. But section will be the parent tag and the division can be a child tag. Section can be a parent and division can be a child. We are going to see in the next example. Now the CSS you are written for P tag. It is not going to apply for div tag and it is not going to apply for section tag. So how to write the CSS for tag name? You have to mention the name of the tag. You have to open the curly bracket. You have to close the curly bracket. Here we have mentioned the name of the tag, curly bracket open, curly bracket close, and inside list of property, whatever we want to add. Check now, see once happening or not happening. Okay, hope written. Now come for the division. So for DIG, whichever the CSS will apply, it will apply in current page for every division. Suppose we want to make two blocks in one line. Using the division, two blocks we want to make in one line. What will be the width? Total width is 100%. 100% width divided by 2, you will get 50%. But there we want to apply some gap also. Margin. Margin when you apply. So if I give here 1% as a margin, then what will happen is 1% it will take left, 1% right, top, bottom, you can leave it. Left, right is a big matter. 1% left of the division, 1% right of the division, 2%. So this 50 will not be as a 50. 50 will become as a 48. 48% is a width. Since the division is a block level element, we have to write as a float left so that it will come one after other. After that, next we have to write margin is written, float is written, then background. Background. Suppose background we can write call pink color, and color we can write as a blue color. Okay, and then font hyphen size we give as a 25 pixel per pixel, and the text align we give as a center. Text align we give as a center. So in current page, wherever the division will appear, each division will take 48% width, and it will have a gap of 1% left, 1% right, 1% top, 1% bottom. Float left, it will start printing from the left side. Background will be pink color. Content text will be blue color. Font size will be 25 pixel, and text align will be center. It will appear in the middle of a screen. It will print in the middle of screen. It's like this, two blocks. Height we have not mentioned. We can mention some height also. Suppose we write here for height. Height 50 px. Some certain height will get applied. Something like this. Exact two division will fit in one line. It is going to share the equal space, equal gap. Now two section tag we have. We can write for that also. Come now. Now it's applied for the paragraph, applied for div. Because we are written for paragraph, we have written for div. We have not written anything for section tag. So there is, as of now, no property for section tag. So for section tag also we can add something here. Section tag should have padding first. Padding. Yesterday we have written some short code. If you remember, let me write directly here. Padding hyphen left 10%. 10% of the total screen. Padding hyphen right 10% of the screen. Padding hyphen top 50 pixel, and padding hyphen bottom 50 pixel. So what will happen is Padding, what it will do? It will apply the gap. From where? Not outside, inside. Then margin bottom. Margin bottom 50 pixel. Height of the paragraph, height of the section 200. Background of the section white color. Font size 25 pixel. This is going to apply only for section tag. For section tag, height, width, background, padding, margin, font size, color. We have not added the float left. We have not mentioned any width. So width will be 100%, and section is a block level element. It will print in the new line by default. Even it will leave in the bottom 50 pixel gap also. It's like this. Okay, from one section, it's applying for okay. Understand? Because of float, we have not written. Okay, so here what we have to do? Let's do one thing. Here, due to float, you can see overlapping happen. Pink is white is got applied for one, not for second one. Let me write one more property here called clear colon both. This is because you have written the float left in the previous element. We'll create example for that. Why we write clear both? We'll get idea. It's look like this now. In this also we can leave margin 1%. So it will give equal gap from all the side. Margin bottom here written 50%, we can remove that. It is going to give the equal gap, left, right, top, bottom, all the side as a equal gap. Let me check once. So look like this. One section, second section. So division, whichever the property you wrote, it will apply for div only. For section, which property we wrote, it will apply only for section. Whichever we have written for paragraph, it is applicable only for paragraph. Okay. Division CSS will not apply for P, and P CSS is not going to apply for section tag. System will separate that automatically based on tag name. So this method is called CSS by tag name. This method is called CSS by tag name. Okay, we have to make a note in developer guide as a simple example how to write the CSS by tag name. So we'll copy from here 1 2 line and we'll paste in developer guide as example. Okay, so check now. This is 3 for 6 per paragraph, this 2 for division, and this 2 for the section. Looking similar or something else? Or you mix all together? This is separate. For paragraph you write, for division you write, and for section you write. Where paragraph will come, it will apply. Where division will come, there apply. Yes, now you can apply in chat. We can move next. Work, not work. Shall I share the code also? Let me share the CSS code. Style to style. Came in the chat. Okay. This is from deep tab. Go to the code. What you got to do? Yes, 48%, margin 1%, note left, background pink, color blue, font size 25, line center, height of 50%. Now section tab, padding top 50%, padding bottom, then height, background, font size, clear, margin 1%. Yeah, okay. After note left, there's a semicolon. Okay, so next file. Next will be we can copy this two section or maybe one section or maybe these two you can copy and come to your developer guide and you can add here where is that CSS by tag name. You can add here again example. You can add here again example. CSS by tag name, you can add this two line as example. CSS by tag name. So whenever we want to see yes, how to write the CSS by tag name, you will see, okay, I have to write the tag name property value. So this will become helpful to identify later also CSS by tag name, how that look, how to write the CSS for a particular tag. Okay, next after this, we have next one, CSS by ID, CSS by class. So we'll go for the CSS by ID, how to create the ID and how to call in HTML and how to create the class and how to link with the HTML. How to create the class and link with the HTML. The system can make note, no? You can make a note in system. This file will be helpful for you. You can keep anywhere, you can have a look. Okay, so next example is for this one, CSS by ID. How to create the ID in CSS. So create a file CSS by ID.html. Create a file CSS by ID.html in internal folder. Okay, go ahead. CSS by ID, how to create CSS by ID dot HTML. How to apply the CSS to HTML using ID. How to apply the CSS to HTML using ID. Using ID property. Okay, so we have start with the HTML, follow the head tag, and under that follow the style. Follow the body tag. Next for body, directly using CSS by tag name, apply a property, background is sky blue. So this becomes CSS by tag name. This becomes CSS by tag name. CSS by tag name. This is CSS by tag name. Now in current page, you will have a division ID equal to ID is the property of HTML. In that you have to give a name. That name will connect to the, you have to give a ID that will connect to the CSS. Suppose I wrote a ID call 1, ID 2, ID 3. So we have three division. You saw in the previous example what was happening. If you write the CSS for div tag, all the division will look similar. If you write the paragraph for a, if you write the ID for a paragraph, all the paragraph will look similar. But our requirement says it should look different. It should not look similar. Then for that, what we do in the day-to-day life, we find a unique ID for every user. For every person, there will be unique PAN number. For every user, there will be unique mobile number. So using the PAN number, mobile number, we can find out who is who. Okay. Similar way, inside HTML, we have a concept of ID. Using ID, the tag will be same. Similar tag will repeat multiple times, but all the tag will have a unique ID. Based on ID, your CSS will communicate, and based on the ID, your JavaScript will communicate. Okay, so ID plays a major important role in JavaScript. Okay, in JavaScript, we have a library called DOM, Document Object Model. DOM is designed based on ID itself. Every element of your HTML tag will consider as a new element, and for every element, there should be an ID. Then your JavaScript can communicate better way. Okay, so here in HTML and CSS, we are learning ID. We will see how to create the ID and how to call the ID. So this is nothing but you are calling the ID, how to call the ID. So ID equal to 2, ID equal to 3. Now for this 1, 2, 3, if any CSS will be written, it will come and apply separately. Let me write here. This is from div 1. This is from div 1. This is from div 2. Div 2. This is from div 3. Div 3. This is from div 1. This is from div 2. And this is from div 3. Three division we have written. All are the similar tag, but functionality wise, look we want to make different. All should look different. Okay, tag is the same, but look should be different. For that, we are given an ID. Now, based on that ID, we will be communicating through the CSS. Okay, hope written. Now come to the CSS. Under the CSS part, how to create the ID. So ID name already you are given here as a one. You have to give as a hash. Hash used to create the ID. Now what will happen? The one will be represented as a ID. And in current page, wherever you call ID equal to 1, the property value of 1 will get applied here. One more ID we have, has 2. One more ID we have, has 3. Has 1, has 2, has 3. Has 1, has 2, has 3. Okay. Now, based on this 1 to 3, the CSS is going to apply. This CSS is not for any division or any paragraph. It is for a particular selector. What is the selector name? Selector name is 1, selector name is 2, selector name is 3. Now this selector where you are going to call. So 1 is a selector, it's going to work like the ID. If you call for division, then also same output. If you call for the section, then also same output. There will not be any difference of tag now. So let me write here. Inside the 1, the color should look as a green color. Inside the 2, the color should look as a blue color. And inside the 3, the color should look red color. So red, green, blue. Now in the first one, font size should be suppose 20 pixel. Here also font size 20 pixel, and here also font size 20 pixel. The font we given the common for all, but the color we given as a different for all. Check now, all three look different or same. ID will be created through the hash. Dot will get created through the class will get created through the dot. Dot used to create the class. Dot used to create the class. and hash used to create the ID. Check now. 1, 2, 3. Look same or different? Okay, let us check now. So all paragraph, all division will not look same. All are different. Why? Because you are not writing the CSS for any div name. You have written the CSS for a particular ID. Now wherever you call the ID, this property will get applied. Let me go here, write a p tag. ID equal to 1. What will happen? The same property what we have given for 1 will get applied for p also. Same property will get applied for the p also. Same property will get applied for p as well. Check now. P also coming the green color. But the problem is one ID we should not use 2 times. If you are using one ID 2 times, your JavaScript will get confused. JavaScript will not work. Your jQuery will get confused. jQuery will not work. Okay. So one ID should be used only one time in one page. One ID we should not use more than one time in one page, else it will mislead you and it will give you in different way. Output will come in different way. Same like is a unique ID for every user. If two user will have same mobile number, network will get confused. If two person will have the same DL number, the traffic police will get confused. Similar way for two element, if there is a similar ID, JavaScript will get confused. Okay. Next, after that, we need to write the some other property so that it should look different. So let's come. Now you will write for first division, background as white color and margin 1%. 1%. You have not mentioned anywhere. Just you can add here padding if required, maybe 50 pixel. So it will take the space 50 pixel from top and 50 pixel from bottom. 50 pixel from top and 50 pixel from bottom. Save now. It will apply only for the first division, not for other. Why? Because ID1 what we have created it is linking to the first division. It is not linking with the other division. So background will be white color and padding 50 pixel will apply only for the first division. Come down for the second division. Suppose right here margin also 1%, also 1%, and width, 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 assume 48%, 48% width, 48% width. So it will take total 48% and change the background to maybe other color, orange color. Same thing apply for the second division, and float left is also required here. Float left why we are writing? So that it should convert from block to inline. Now same these three things you apply in the third division also, but background will be different color as a blue color. Blue and color as a white, or maybe it's okay, no problem, you can check. So for division 1, the look and feel is different. For division 2, look and feel is different. And for division 3, also look and feel is different. The width is common for division 1 and width is common for the division not 1, 2 and 3. Division 2 and division 3, the width is common. Float left is there. Background property is there, but the color is different. What you will find is the division number 1 will come in one line, division number 2 and 3 will come in the second line. It will share half of a space. It will share the width half of width for both. Okay, great. Check now. It's going to happen like this. Height we have not mentioned. Height is also required. Keep height 200 pixel or 300 pixel, both the places. So what will happen now? Division number 2 and division number 3, both height will be equal, width will be equal, but the background will be different. Height width will be equal, background will be different. In this, we try to understand how to create the ID and how to link with the HTML. Okay, hope reading. See now. All are division only, but the look is different. Now ID, what is the purpose of ID? Using ID, we are making element as a unique. We are making type of element is same, division is same all the places, but the design is different, look is different based on ID. Anyone? Yes, no, working, not working.
Yes, sir, it's fine. Working fine.
CSS has property and value only. If you remember property value, then we can design the better page. Then you will ask how to remember. We are following a step by step, writing example for everything. You also need to write. Okay, so go ahead and copy any two section from here and paste into the developer guide as an example. This study video I have not uploaded. Internet was not working in my home. Today we'll upload all. Example right here. So now something like this. This becomes an example how to create the ID using hashtag. Next, we can write one example for class. So create the next file css by class.html. Okay, go ahead. Next file css by class.html. css by class.html. Okay, css by class. So ID and class will not have much difference. When you created the ID, you have follow the hash. When you create the class, you have to follow the dot. Okay, so let's go HTML head. Under the head, the style will come under the style. Open body, close the body. Okay, next after that, follow one division. Keep inside called header. ID as a header. Or ID as a one only, no problem. Follow below a division class equal to product. Keep here item 1, item 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Add according to your wish. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 10. One is ID, remaining all are class. One is ID, remaining all are class. Now we will follow all method in that. For body, I will write directly CSS by tag name. Background. You can write is a green color completely. Background will come full green. So that becomes CSS by ID. Next, you are going to write hash1 as a ID. Sorry, body becomes CSS by tag name. This we are going to write CSS by ID. Padding 30 pixel. Background white. Margin 1%. And font size 30 pixel. Text align center. So this will apply only for the one. Padding inside, background, the background white, margin all the side 1% gap. The text font size will be 30 pixel and text will appear in the center. Check this much, it's apply for header or not. Okay, ready? Check now. Background is a blue and this section becomes a white. Now remaining item we have 1 to 10 as a class. So for that we have to write as a dot product. Product is a class. Class get created using the dot. Header is coming under the division. For that we are given the ID equal to 1. 1. So under the 1, whatever will write, all will appear under the first block. Under the product, whatever will write, it will apply for the remaining blocks. So let's go. Suppose you want to bring 4 block in one line. 4 block in one line. So total screen width is 100%. 100% divided by 4 will come total 25%. That is the actual width. Total width for each block should be 25%. to bring in one line 4 blocks. Now in that you have to give margin also and you have to give the padding also. Okay. Padding also occupy the space, margin also occupy the space. So let me write here. Suppose if I write first as a float left, that represent it is going to come one by one in the same side. Okay. Second, we will add here margin as 1%. So it will take the 1% left, 1% right, even top bottom also. So margin is going to consume 2%. If I write here padding also 1%, the padding is going to consume 2%. 2% for margin and 2% for padding, 4%. And total width for how much we have for each block? 25. Now 25% width minus this 4%. Which one? Padding and margin. So remaining will be 21%. Width colon 21%. Width colon 21%. After that, float left already have given. Let me give as a height or text align center. Text align as a center so that the content will appear in the middle. Now after that, we have to give some certain height. Height suppose 130 pixel be given, and suppose background we are giving as a white color. White color. So this product class what you have written in your current page, how many times you are calling, all the places this product class will get applied. Okay, save now, check once. It should get applied all three places. Okay, go ahead. Let's check now how many blocks are coming. So many blocks. CSS we wrote one place and it's got apply all the places. So condition is in one page, one type of design you required many times. Okay, hope you listen properly. In one page, one type of design you required many times, then you must follow the class. Why? Because you can write class one time and you can use many times. You don't have to write this CSS again and again. Okay. But in one page, if one design is only one time, okay, for that you should not use class. You can use class also, but ID will be best solution. Using same ID, you can manage the CSS, and using same ID, you can manage the JavaScript. So now for this header, you can see what is the ID we are given. ID is equal to 1. Now 1 is available only one time in current page. This division ID as a 1, you are using only one time. You can't use this ID two times. If you use two times, CSS will work, but in the future your JavaScript will get fail. So combined of all, there is one small theory to remember while looking into the JavaScript, while looking into the HTML, while looking into the JavaScript DOM library rule regulation. Okay. One small theory we need to remember: in one page, one type of design is required only one time. Then you will follow the ID. But in one page, one type of design you need many times. Then you will follow the class. Using the same ID, you can communicate with the CSS and JavaScript, and using the same ID, you can communicate with the Ajax and jQuery Ajax everywhere. And if you are following the class, using the same class, you can apply the CSS also, and using the same class, you can apply the JavaScript also. Okay, so that will reduce your code length and many things under the JavaScript. Okay. So what is the theory? Theory is in one page, one type of design is required one time, then we can use the ID. But in case in one page, one type of design is required many times, we will follow the class. Okay, as exact same like this. Header is only one time, no problem, you can use ID. There is no matter of conflict. But this is available how many times? This many times. You can follow the class. Okay, hope you have written. Working or not working? Working. Come to the CSS file. We can make a small note and then we can go next. In the class, we can write here in one page, one type of design required many times. Then use class method. Then use class method. In the ID block, you can write in one page. Okay, this is I have written in the wrong place. This should be here. In one page, one type of design is required many times. Then we can use the class. Okay, class. Here we can write in the case of ID, in one page, one type of design. In one page, one type of design required only one time. Then use ID. Use ID, else use the class. Ready? Now from there, you can copy this product and paste here as one example. Product you can copy and paste here under the class block as one example. You can paste into the class block as one example. ID you are creating using the hash, class you are creating using the dot. Okay, it in the notes.